Hello everyone. I'm John Seastad. I'm the CEO of Attavik. We are the first high-tech startup out of Greenland, now based in Denmark. Our story is that of people in the Arctic who lack basic digital communication, even within eyesight of each other. Our mission is to break down the digital inequality, especially affecting people in rural areas. And that did not provide the next slide. Yes. Normally, we take connectivity for granted, but in reality, more than 60% of the world landmass is not covered by wireless broadband. More than 50% of the world population have no access to broadband internet. And in reality, rural Europe also lack access to high quality internet. This is all in all an urgent social problem. And in these days, we are reminded that access to digital communication is very important during emergencies. But it is not only a problem, it is also a huge business opportunity. With a global market value of 15 billion euros, that operators cannot reach without having an enabling low-cost technology like ours. When we look at the market in Europe, we estimate 25 million customers. And well, looking at the US, they have the same 25 million people without access to the internet. We expect Attavik to be able to reach 2% market share in Europe and the US and 1% in South America as well. All in all, we have something like 3.6 billion unconnected users in developing countries. What is it that we do? This is what we do with our patented solution. We connect groups of people with no internet access using two things, a range extender device and an app. People can call and text named persons without having access to the internet. But if one range extender device have access to the internet, as on the left, that connection can be shared across this cloud of communication, actually creating an infinite service range. What kind of business model are we looking at? Well, it's a business-to-business hardware distribution, especially adapted to the rural coverage market. And then we have the leisure market as a secondary target. Telepost, the operator in Greenland, have committed to distribute Attavik as soon as the product is ready and project 1,000 units sold annually. Telefonica see this in relation to their project Internet for Everyone in South America. In the leisure market, we expect customers to have a subscription directly with Attavik. In the rural market, they would have relationships with the operators. Looking at competitors. These competitors are mainly focusing on the leisure market or the emergency segment, which is, well, the leisure market is pure business to consumers. Their technology is based on low capacity, can do texting, location sharing, no way they can share internet access, and two-way voice communications. Also, we do not see satellite operators as competitors. They are enablers. We use them as partners and provide connectivity on the ground. It's the same with...
Sorry, but your time is up. So,
sorry.
Judges, more questions, please, because we see that some information we'll still need to get.
Yes.
This is Irfan. I'm just trying to understand, you know, it's a interesting concept, but I mean, how are you sort of, you know, sorting the problem of bandwidth, because that is depending on whatever, you know, backbone transmission is provided. That's one thing. And the other is, how do you reach critical mass? In order for this to work, you need quite a few, users out there using the device in the vicinity of each other in order to enable this mesh network. So how do you solve that problem unless you get a massive deal with one very big operator that's willing to invest heavily in this?
Well, I would say it depends on the market, because when we talk about the leisure market, we talk about a portable device, so that even small groups can actually create communication with each other, hiking the Alps or whatever. But in rural areas, you're right that we need a critical mass for a mesh cloud to actually form, and this is why if I may move back to this is why we talk about partnering with the operators in order to be able to distribute locally. We extend operators' networks. We don't compete with them. At some point, the operators' network simply cannot reach, and we can help them reach beyond that at a lower cost. Yes.
Yeah, I understand that, but still, I mean, I guess it needs to be seen when it's deployed. I mean, what sort of services are you able to deliver on those devices, right? Because, you're not solving the bandwidth problem with this. You're just solving the basic accessibility problem. So the question is there other technologies like, like Elon Musk is putting up satellites to deliver broadband in rural area? Would you be able to compete with that?
He is putting up satellites to connect people the same as OneWeb. And this is, as I mentioned, we will not be competing directly with the satellite operators. We will be able to distribute at ground level using the satellite as backhaul, so that the satellite modem is a pricey thing. Sorry. Yeah. And we will not, we will not be competing with them. We will be joining forces with them, just as the operator, the ISPs and the operators. I don't expect people to be carrying around Elon Musk Starlink mobile phones. They will have to install satellite dishes to actually get it to work, and then we can distribute from that point. And that's the same discussions we had with OneWeb. They will distribute to one location, and then we can distribute at ground level.
So more questions. We have just one possible question.
What are you looking for? What is your valuation at the moment?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
What are you looking for from an investor, and what is your valuation at the moment?
Well, we are looking for investments of $2 million. We have recently applied for the European EIC Accelerator. We're granted the Seal of Excellence, and we are looking at other possible investors now. So, yes, and we are at a proof of concept level. We have a proof of concept established. We need to finalize the product and actually go to market.
Can I ask just the final question about the length or the range of the Wi-Fi? I mean, and by the way, congratulations from coming out of Greenland with this. I think it's a marvelous idea. I know that there's certainly a need for it, so that's great. But the range, I'm a little bit worried of that, and also for the battery consumption. And I was just wondering, you might want to consider a breadcrumb solution on top of what you're doing for people that are going remotely into Greenland, because it seems to me as if that there's a range question.
Well, that's correct. We are looking at ranges from six going towards 8 kilometers. This is something that is developing as more or less as we speak. So yes, it is tied to one of the first questions, creating a critical mass, and we do have some limitations on this 6 kilometers. And yes, Greenland is a fantastic place, but in reality, we are actually targeting other markets with potentially far more customers.
I think a breadcrumb solution would help you greatly.
Yes, and we will actually be able to support that, but all depending on people, leaving the devices. But I'm taking notes of this.
Sure, thank you.